All right, we can get started. It's good to see everybody on Zoom today. Roger, Carlos, Janet. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Catherine. Barb, you have some words of inspiration for us today?
3 quotes today. First one, no matter what yesterday was like, birds always start the new day with a song. And I guess so should we. And another particularly here, how gratitude changes everything. Instead of saying, I have to, start your day with, I get to. I get to exercise. I get to see my friends and family. I tell someone I love them. I get to eat good food. I get to work and earn money. I get to experience things. I get to make someone's day a little better. It's all about perspective.
All right, Sue, might as well move right into our program. Would you like to introduce our speakers?
So we're very excited today to have Julie Novick, who is the director of the Easton Phillipsburg YMCA Forks Early Childhood Education Center. And we're so happy to have you. And our presenter today is going to be Monica Castone, who is a teacher. And she's going to tell us all about, you can tell us a little bit about yourselves first, and then tell us about what a day is like for a preschool teacher. We're really excited to hear about it. And thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Well, I have
We have
these.
speakers on.
You're all set.
Do you want to stick up there? Is here?
Okay, you can, wherever you're most comfortable.
Okay, well, I'm Julie. I am, like you said, the director of the Force Education Center, which is part of the YMCA. I've been the director for 8 years now. I also worked prior, I've been at the Y for 17 years in early childhood. I got my degree in early childhood in 1995, a long time ago. So I've been in early childhood for a very long time. So there's been lots of changes and lots of growth, but I've got 2 kids. I have a 26-year-old and a 21-year-old. So I did the whole parent thing as well. But
Okay, and my name is Monica Castone, and I have been in early childhood. I graduated college in 1993. So I owned my own daycare center for over 20 years. And then took a little bit of a break and worked for the IU20 for 5 years. I know many people don't think that's much of a break, but it taught me a lot, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I just came to the Forks Education Center in September, and I absolutely love it. So I've been working with preschoolers for a long time, long time. And I also have 3 children of my own, 14, 18, and 21.
so we're going to talk about a day in the life of a preschool teacher in preschool, but then I also added some challenges because there's so much going on right now that make it very difficult to run a center.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so go ahead, girl.
So my day would start, I arrive at work by 8 o'clock. I normally arrive a little bit earlier than that. I take my 14-year-old to school first, so it depends on traffic and when she's ready to leave, but I'm there by 8. I get ready for the first half hour, I'm prepping for the children. So it's getting the classroom ready, getting the materials ready that we're doing for that day, an activity for them when they come into the classroom. We have before care children start to arrive at 8:30. So we take them in the classroom. They have to, washing hands. We're washing hands as soon as they come in the room. Our class starts at 8:45. So by then everyone is there. Next I have the washing the hands. So very important. A lot of people don't realize the washing of your hands. It's not just soap, get them wet, rinse it off, dry them. Every child, all 20 of them, and the teachers need to wash their hands for at least 20 seconds with soap, no water, soap, then rinse them. So by the time we all get washed, which takes a really long time, to get ready for the day. So they'll sit at the table first, do some table activities until everyone arrives. Around 9 o'clock, we go to the carpet. We have to wash hands when they enter the classroom, before they eat, after they eat, before they play with Play-Doh, after they play with Play-Doh, after they use the bathroom, before and after sensory play. So there's a lot of hand washing that we have to make sure for germs.
Oh,
All right, and then we head over to our carpet. So I have a picture there of the children on our carpet, and they each have a spot. So I had their names there in the beginning of the year, so they got to know what their name looked like. They're very good at that. So now we have just a sit spot, and it has a letter on it, so I can use the letters. Like, what letter are you on? Or if you're on this letter, you can go get your activity, stuff like that. So we'll sing in the morning. We sing good morning songs. We sing weather songs. We're getting ready for kindergarten soon. Right now, we're also singing songs about syllables for the days of the week and the months of the year. The children help out. They do calendars, so they're counting. We have them each sign in as well as we have a sign-in board, so they each sign in. They put their name on the 10 frame, see how many children are there, talk about the children that aren't there, who's missing from class today, so they feel appreciated. And when they do come in the next day, everyone is like, "You're here today." So that's something fun for them. After we have our morning meeting, we call them by table to wash their hands. So there's a group of them at one of the tables, so they each have a spot at the table. They need to get their belongings from the middle, so they'll get whatever they need for the breakfast. They don't have to eat breakfast. Some of them eat at home, but we serve a breakfast that, where do I have it? It follows the CACFP. We have certain guidelines that we have to follow in order to have a nutritional breakfast, lunch, and snacks for them. This, although it takes a long time to get everyone sitting at the table, is a fun time to sit and talk with the children, because you will hear stories, you will hear what they did the night before. So it's fun for them to socialize and to get to learn how to talk a conversation at a table. Because
And you'll hear things you might not want to hear.
right, sometimes that's happened, and I just look
You'll
at
hear
them, I'm like,
stories, you're like,
"Oh, not at
Okay,
school,
no,
that's at home." They love to talk, and they don't know how to just sit at the table and talk to someone at the table. A lot of families now don't sit at the dinner table. So it's good, it helps them. We're talking just to people at our table. We're not going to yell to somebody across the room. We're going to pretend we're in a restaurant. We're talking quietly to one another. So it's a fun experience. It's a fun interaction with them. The children engage and interact with the world around them through play. Free play is very important for them. So they experiment with things, they discover, and they learn. So we do have free choice for a large part of the day. Although the activities that they're choosing, I have also chosen specifically for whatever we're learning that month. So it's all going to be a learning experience for them. We're doing a ball unit right now, along with Valentine's Day and Dental Health Month. So just about every area has some kind of a ball in it. So they can experiment what else they can do with a ball. And to them, they're just so excited, like, why do we have a ball in here? So just even I brought golfing to school, so they did that outside. That was amazing to them. We'll do bowling. So just things that we take for granted, they think is amazing. And we did then have also free choice outside. So we have a lot of outside play. So every morning from 11 to 11:45 and every afternoon from 2:30 to 3:15 as well. So the free play is initiated by a child. So they're choosing what they want to play with. Even though I might have chosen the activities that are out, they're going to what they want to play with on that day. Outdoor play and indoor play can be considered free play as long as the child has the freedom to control their play. So outside, there's plenty for them to do. We have 3 different play areas. One is a mulch area with play equipment on it, which is the children love to play there. We have another area in the back that has different kinds of surfaces. So that's fun for them. It has a kitchen area, it has a play train in it. They can build a house with building equipment. And we have another area that they can ride bikes, and there's different kinds of balls. There's basketball hoops. So all different areas, and we're spread out throughout the week. We go to different areas, so they don't get bored with it, and they're always excited when we're going to a different area. So that for them that's important for them to be able to do that and they pretend to make me soup out of grass and mulch. Or, they set the tables with the toys that they have. It's just wonderful when they're playing outside. What does a typical classroom look like? So our classroom is set up grouped into learning centers. So we have dramatic play, writing, library, arts, blocks, science, manipulatives, math, and music. When in with the lesson, each of those areas is going to have stuff in it that deals with our lesson. Letters are going to be in there with the lesson, matching letters, patterns. I do a lot with patterns for them. So I have a lot of like mini erasers that they love to play with, and they can make patterns with them. Library. We have a quiet area for library, and the books that are in library will have to do with what we're doing for the month. So they're changed out also. Dramatic play, you could do so much with dramatic play. Last month, we had a clothing unit. So I had a little toy laundry machine. I had things for them to hang their clothes and clothespins for fine motor, just anything to think of that they need to use their bodies and keep busy, and they're still learning that way. So they have the opportunity to explore any area in the room that they want to. I do have it, so each area is limited to a certain amount of children. They have a picture card that they put on that area, and they know. Most of them are 4 children. If it's full, I'll have to wait until somebody else is done in there, and they'll go to another area and pick. I have plenty of things for them to do to keep busy and interested. And I'll sometimes tell them, I'll keep an eye out if you really want to this area when somebody's done, and then you can come on over and play in here. So it keeps them settled and good with that. The majority of the children's development happens through unstructured play. So this is the free play. So here they're playing with shaving cream on the table. And actually, they all wanted to do it. So every table was filled with shaving cream. They could do absolutely anything in the shaving cream. They could write their name. They could make shapes. Some of them wanted to do shapes. They were making people. They were racing it and doing different things and houses and stuff. So that, and they were amazed that the shaving cream then disappeared into the table. Like, where did it go? My shaving cream is gone, but they're learning. They had so much fun with that. Children learn as they play. Most importantly, in play, children learn how to learn. So that's helping them as they play, they're learning how to cope so that once they get to school, they can understand a little bit better and wait a little bit better. So as early childhood educators, we need to follow the PA early learning standards when we're creating lesson plans and planning activities. We are also charged with assessing the children throughout the year. And we have 2 parent-teacher conferences with the parents. So in those, we check for growth that the children have made. So in the beginning of the year, I'll go through, see what the children know, right down to their name. Some of them don't know what their name looks like. So that's what we start with. So by the end of the year, they're writing their name and they know what their friends' names are. They know what their friend's name looks like. So they can read them also from, they help me in the morning, put out their activities in the morning, and they usually have their name on them. So they will help me and they know where they belong. They know whose name it is, which is great to go into kindergarten knowing how to read your friends' names, or figuring it out by the first letter, because they'll know that. We're served a family style lunch. So we use bowls. So the children actually serve themselves their lunch. If they don't want something, we ask them to try it. You'll get some that'll say, okay, I'll try it. Because when they said they didn't like it, I say, did you ever try it? Well, no. How about we just take a bite and maybe you'll like it? And sometimes they do. So, and then they're asking for seconds. So I think that's important. They are allowed to bring their own lunch, but we do like them to try our lunch, even if they brought their own. Now, if it's something that they've tried again and again and don't like it, I don't make them eat it. And then after lunch is washing hands and getting ready. We have another playtime after lunch, free choice until 2, and then we have a snack. There are many heartwarming benefits of being an early childhood educator. There is never a shortage of happiness. I tell you, sometimes they're running around like giggling, just to giggle, and like you ask them to do something, they're like, okay, I do that. They're very happy, chatty. They do like to please most of the time. There's some times where it's trying for us, but it is a wonderful, great feeling knowing you are participating in the building of their tomorrow, knowing you have inspired young minds and exposed these little people to the joys of learning. These little people who will inherit the world and shape the future. So it's important that they feel loved and appreciated.
Which sometimes, unfortunately, is the only place that they
Yes,
feel that.
there's a lot of times where,
Yes.
we need to take care of them.
Yes.
Children don't say, I had a hard day, can we talk? They say, will you play with me? So it's important to, when they come to you and they're like, will you sit down and play with me? Yes, I will. And whatever you want to build, we're going to build, or whatever you want to do. So
Good job.
is this you?
This is me.
Okay.
Now we're going to talk some challenges in early childhood, a little past what we do in the classroom, but there's just things we should know because a lot goes on. First and foremost, all too often we are thought of as babysitters and not educators, because we do have the little kids 6 weeks up to 5. The reality of the importance of early childhood education is lost on most of the population. We are so much more than babysitters. Early childhood experiences from birth to age 8 affect the development of the brain's architecture, which provides the foundation for all future learning, behavior, and health. A strong foundation helps children develop the skills they need to become well-functioning adults. Hiring qualified teachers. What is the definition of a highly qualified teacher in early childhood? At the Forks Education Center, we have 2 programs. We have our early childhood program, which is the paid child care learning program. And we also have our pre-K counts program, which is free to families that qualify, either financially, or the kids have an IEP, or like second language learners. If you're going to be a pre-K counts teacher, a lead teacher, to be qualified, you have to be a certified teacher. So we are the same qualifications as working in elementary education. But the problem is we don't pay that much. So that's the challenge, is trying to raise our rates of pay for teachers in early childhood, because we're losing them to elementary ed, and they're doing the same job. Sometimes, like I worked in kindergarten, so that's the highest I went, but it's hard. You're teaching them their social and emotional skills, or teaching them how to tie a shoe, like how to sit in a circle, how to walk in a line, like all these things that getting them ready for elementary ed. So
And social emotional, I
and
think, is
social emotional is
the major
huge.
one
It's
right
the
now.
biggest one, and it's, you're getting them ready for elementary. So we need to be thought of as a little more important than a lot of people see us, unless you're in the field already, you know. And even for early childhood programs, for our daycare side, it's still a learning program. We like to have teachers come in with an associate's degree, but that's not really happening anymore either, because again, the rates of pay, COVID killed us. Like, I don't know where everybody went after COVID, but there's nobody looking for jobs. So we're working on it right now. Greater Valley Y is in the process of merging with Bucks and 100 and YMCA's. So once we combine, we should be able to make some changes in our rates of pay. Like, we're losing people to places like McDonald's and that can pay $15, $16 an hour that we don't do.
And they could sit and not really do their job.
Right.
We
It's-
can't
and
not
it's a
do our job.
difficult- It's a difficult job. It's not for everybody. Like, you
Yes.
have to have the right mindset and just really want to do this job. So this is just a little tidbit on the staffing crisis. In September 2023, there was a survey put out to all the childcare centers in Pennsylvania through OCDL, which is the Office of Child Development and Learning. And through that, this is what they learned. Over 700 childcare providers took part. 94% had open staffing positions, which led to about 2,300 open teaching spots. 98.7 had at least one classroom closed, which was, approximately 934 classrooms. If every classroom were fully staffed, 25,931 more children could be served. Personally, I have one classroom closed. It's been closed since the beginning of the year. It's my preschool 4 classroom, which is kids that have to get into the steps to getting into kindergarten. Pre-K counts is full. Pre-K counts is always going to be full because it's a free program and there's a need for that. But I just can't find teachers. I can't even find a cook. I've been without a cook since September. Like, it's very difficult to hire. So it's hard. It's hard looking for staff, and it's a big challenge. But once I saw this, I didn't feel so bad about myself, because I'm the only one in the closed classroom. I have like 4 positions open, and it's not changing. So we're working on it. We're hoping to see some pay raises. So I guess that's it. Do you have any questions for us?
Is there any such thing as a time out?
We try not to use timeout. We will redirect first. If the child is having, because we do have a lot of children with behaviors now, more so than pre-COVID, oh my gosh.
They
So-
haven't been socialized.
Yeah, they haven't been socialized. So
They are.
you
we're
can
stuck
take a
at
break.
home.
We'll have them sit, we'll have them, like I said, redirect them to something else,
Mhm.
but it's not beneficial timeout unless, like I
No.
said, there's some major behaviors and you have
Yeah.
to get them away from everybody else
Right.
or everybody else away
I
from
don't,
them.
I think that doesn't really teach them how to handle their feelings. So I use green and red choices in my classroom. So we talked about, so the red choices are choices that we don't want to make. They're down choices, and green choices are things that other people like. It got to the point where I'll just look at them. I'm like, that's a red choice. That's not something that we need to do. Oh, but I don't want to do that. Okay, then stop and let's think of a green choice that we can do. So that helps them better to know that what they can do, instead of just, well, if I'm not allowed to do that, what else am I going to do?
How many children do you have, and is there a waiting list to get in?
Yes, right now we have about 121 children enrolled, and I do have a very extensive wait list. Like 80 something children on my wait list.
Do you have a feel for how many kids actually go to preschool versus those that go cold into kindergarten?
I don't. I'm sure there's a few, but I don't
Yeah.
view.
I don't know, but yeah, if you talk to the kindergarten teachers, they can tell
They
you
can tell.
it's,
They can
yes,
tell who
it's
has gone to
it's
preschool
who
and
has
has
gone
not.
and who has not, because it's hard. They aren't able to even sit down at their desk if they haven't gone to preschool, because they've never had to.
Yeah.
Sit and concentrate on one thing.
Sorry, I had a question.
Those on Zoom?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Is there any state funding or county funding that they can funnel to you to open up that other classroom? I mean, as far as hiring people, I don't know, but funding to pay for some more kids to come in.
Well, we do get state funding for the pre-K counts program. I guess I didn't explain that. It is funded by the state. So we have 69 children that come for free, but that's all funded by the state. So that's a lot of money we have coming in.
Okay.
So as far as the private pay classroom, which I have open as the private pay, and it's really
I
just a
don't
matter
know.
of trying to get a
I
higher.
want more from the state. I want to squeeze them. I want every penny to go to you, right? Because like you said,
Oh, go ahead. Be our advocate.
yeah. I mean, that's great. I mean, you said 69 kids. I mean, obviously that's great. Should be 70. It should be 71.
Yeah.
Should be 72.
Right.
I'll explain why I would add that.
Okay.
Last Thursday, I was up there reading a book about mammals and rivers throughout the world. And there was one of your students that sat in, I was in the big room.
Yeah.
I have a big room and a small room. I was in the big room. And there was one of the students that sat inside of a wooden box
Oh, that's the
and
cozy cube.
stayed there the whole
Yeah.
time. And I just wondered,
Yeah, no, that's
He
not
would-
timeout. That's
No.
a cozy cube where if they're feeling overstimulated or emotional, they can just
Yep.
go in by themselves and just chill until they feel
It's
better.
it's a space to be by
A
themselves,
safe space.
because sometimes we all want to be by ourselves,
Yeah.
and that's their safe spot. Nobody is going to bother them in there. I have a calm down, like counting, so that I breathe with them. Like you can count to 10, and we count to 10 and we breathe in and we go, ah, and just regulating your breathing and making noise helps you to relax a little bit. So the children that need that, they know that's what we do. We breathe in and we do it a couple times, and we sigh out, like they know. So they can go there. Some of our kids go there when they come in the morning and they were like not ready to leave mom or dad. And they're like, I'm gonna go in the cube. Okay, you can go in the cube until you're feeling better. And then they come out ready to play. So that's just some place for them to be alone and to get their feelings
And then we
together.
can still see them because they're in a box, but it's open.
Yeah.
So we can see what they're doing.
beyond the funding that you get for pre-K, what do the parents have to pay to have their child attend?
It depends on the classroom. Because we go from infants all the way up, and it depends. I should have brought it with me, but depends on if they're full-time, if they're part-time, if they're 3 days a week or 4 days a week. But we also give a lot of scholarships out. We have a lot of families on Title 20 funding, which is from the state. So there's a lot that goes into, paying for childcare. But like the infant room is the most expensive. I want to say it's like $259 a week.
Because they take more care. So for
Yeah, the
one
infant room
teacher,
is
they're
more
only allowed
expensive.
4 infants.
Yeah.
So compared to a 4 and 5-year-old classroom, one teacher can have 10 children. So that
Yeah.
infants are more
So once
expensive.
the 5-year-olds, like the preschoolers on childcare is like $244 a week full-time. But like I said, we have numerous people that we give scholarships out to because we are a nonprofit. So we do the best we can to help them. And our price range is kind of in the median. We're not the lowest, but we're not the highest.
Do they make adult-sized cozy cubes?
I
We
wish,
can work that
right?
out for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys want to sit down and eat? We can continue the questions during lunch. Any more questions from those on Zoom? Janet?
Hi. No, I think, hi, Julie.
Hi.
We so appreciate the job that, and I don't think anybody realizes how important this job is until you start explaining everything that's done, throughout the entire day. I really think it would be a great idea to bring adults in and actually have them
Have a tour.
maneuver through the whole day.
Yeah, we can do
and
that.
It would be certainly an eye opener, I think.
Yeah.
This is the most important career I can't think of anything else more important than early childhood as far as what's going on. I do have some questions because of course this was my field. No more naps.
The young kids have naps, but once they hit the 4-year-old classrooms, like pre-K counts no naps because they have a certain number of hours they need to be taught throughout the day.
Right.
So our preschool infants, toddlers, and the 3-year-old preschool on the care side all nap still. But we found when I have an open preschool 4 classroom, it depends. Like we see how the kids are. Do they still need naps? If they do, if a majority needs naps, then they'll get them. And then by mid-year, we kind of wean them off because they will be having to get ready for kindergarten. But pre-K counts no naps.
Some of my parents will say that they zonk out in the car on the way home. So they take a little pick me up nap on the way home from school.
Well, that makes sense. My other question is, when I was there the other day, I've noticed as being a teacher and a director, I only had one other assistant in my classroom, unless I had a behavior, somebody that needed a behavior therapist or, but you've got some classrooms that have 4 people.
Because they're not our staff. Those are the support staff that come from the IU or for the private behavioral. We just, like I said before, we have so many kids with issues.
Right.
Sometimes we have, like we have our one pre-K counts class, Mr. Sean, who has 10 kids, but he has 7 with issues. And parents they don't tell us, like they're afraid to be honest with us when they come in the door. Like, we're gonna figure it out. We're not.
Right, we're gonna
Like,
figure it out, and
no,
it would help
I can
the
look at your
child
kid and
to
figure it
know.
out.
Right.
So like he has a small room, 10 kids himself, and there's some days there's 4 or 5 extra support people in there. And it's, how can you
So
learn anything? It's awful.
We have children that have IU slots in the classroom. Like I have several in my classroom that are IU slots. So we have one little boy that has a support. So then we also have medical. So we have somebody now that has a nurse with her. And then sometimes their higher ups have to come in and observe them. So then you're going to have that person in the room also observing the person working with your child.
So it seems like a lot of staff, and it's really not our staff. It's just like that support.
So
staff.
I have 20 children and there's 2 of us. There's me and my assistant.
Like 2 Y employees, and the rest there's a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot in my room.
No, I mean, it's so beneficial. Are you finding that you have more students that are coming to you from the IU, or that would be special?
That
I'm
need
assuming
the
you are. Do
Yeah.
you have any idea why? Is there been any research as to what's happening?
I think a lot of it is because of COVID and because children have not socialized at all. So then they come here when they're 3 or 4 and have never been in childcare, young parents, and
the
nothing
tablet.
against the young parents and the tablet and the constant, like not actual playing and like being outside. And
Right.
there's a lot of
And that
factors.
instant gratification from the tablet,
Right.
and that's not healthy. So we're limited. I limit their and I have special games for them to do, and they're limited to 10 minutes a day on a tablet. The rest is interacting with the other children and teachers and learning that way.
Yeah. And when the teacher does like large things, if they have a video time that they're going to play on their smart board or something, they're only limited. The state tells us 15 minutes a day. They don't want us doing any more than that. And there's reasons behind it. So
Last question. Do you think your parents, your young parents, would be interested in like a parenting class that would be supported? Do you think that they would come or be interested in something like that?
it's worth putting it out there. Like we do parent-child workshops and parent meetings, informational meetings, just depending on a different topic every month or so. So it kind of just depends on what it is and if they're interested in it. Right? It could be like, I could always just put a feeler out and see if there's interest, and, if so, we could move forward.
I want to thank our speakers. I guess we can have more questions during lunch, but let's give them a round of applause for a great presentation, for a
Thank you.
much needed service they provide. And if you have questions during lunch, fire them away.
I actually do have a question for you.
Yeah.
I heard that all the masking that the kids had to do had a direct effect on their development with speech, but also watching other people's speech, watching other people's mouths move. Do you guys have to counteract that? I mean, do you have things in place to counteract the fact that they did kind of lose a lot of that ability?
Yeah, well, we're not seeing too much of that. It's gotten better, but we do have speech therapists and, people come in for those that are having issues. Yeah.
Anybody else? Bill?